Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today on the life transforming testimonies. And it's a wonderful evening here in Kyiv, Ukraine. And I'm extending to you, the blessings of the sun that we have today. To everyone who is watching us all over the world, thank you for joining us on Facebook and on YouTube. My name is Anu Ojo. Wow, it is I don't know how to say it, mixed feelings because right from the first day of May, we started this life transforming series, life transforming testimonies. We've had amazing testimonies from amazing individuals, and today is the final. Today is the final day. And I said mixed feelings because it felt like it should never stop, because with every testimony that we get to hear every day, the uniqueness of the testimonies, the uniqueness of the stories and the journeys that everybody went through. But man, one could learn something from everybody's story. And it has been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful journey. And at this juncture, I would like to, appreciate everybody who was a part of this life transforming testimonies right from day one. Everyone who partook in this, we want to extend our appreciation to you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a channel of blessing to the world. Thank you for coming live, to share your testimony, to share your journey, to share your processes, and to share your results, to encourage, to inspire, to motivate people who might be going through similar, journeys, to learn from your own life experiences, to make their own journey smoother and better. So we want to extend our appreciation to everybody who joined. Thank you so much for being a blessing. And today we are having a couple guest, a guest couple. I think that would be better. That's better said. A guest couple all the way from Nigeria. They are our only couple guests that's actually sharing their testimony. They are the first and they're the last. So they are Alpha and Omega in one. All right. But before I introduce them, I would like to encourage all of our viewers who are watching us to please, click the share button. If you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, you could click the share button and invite your friends, share it to your friends. Today we're going to have another interesting discussion. As you can see on the title on your screen, the title of today's discussion is "It's Only DSA That Told Us or That Taught Us the Truth About Life." And that's something that has been resounding, right from the very first day of this life transforming testimonies. The word truth. It's like everybody just has something to say about the truth. Yesterday we had Mrs. Adiola Disu, and she talked about the voice of truth. So there's something about Dr. Sunday that, is connected with the truth. But today we're having Mr. Uche and Mrs. Chioma Nwigwe joining us all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, to tell us, their own journey, to share with us how, Dr. Sunday's lesson and truth, has changed their life. Because what they're saying is that it was DSA that told them, only DSA actually shared with them the truth about life. So we want to make welcome the beautiful couple. Good evening to you, Mr. and Mrs. Nwigwe.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, I'm blown away by your smiles.
Yes, this is only the smile. Right now there is lockdown in the world.
Yeah.
But if people can still be smiling in the midst of lockdown, it's only the truth that they know that gives them, there's something else that is motivating them beyond, what the whole world is saying. And that's because of the truth. that we have heard from Dr. Sunday. Yeah, everyone has one thing or the other to say about the things that are going on in the world. But because of this man's teachings, yes, we know that there are issues everywhere, but we have a totally different approach to these things because, yes, problem is never going to stop. In fact, we're supposed to welcome problems as they come. And as we share in our story today, you will hear how the impact of his teachings have helped us so far. We met Dr. Sunday 4 years ago in 2016. And since then, our lives have continued on a totally different lane, and it only gets better by the day. Yes. So that's just an introduction. I'm going to let my husband take the floor right now.
Beautiful. All right, let's hear from you, Mr. Uche.
Yes, we're very privileged, as in we see it as a privilege to come and share our testimony on this platform. During this lockdown, people are having different issues, some mental issues. There are issues around mental breakdown. People, all of a sudden, what they've held as their purpose, what they're living for, has been taken away. And you see people acting up in different ways. But for us, it was actually life as usual.
We have been locked down since we met DSS, so nothing changed. We've been in a lockdown, so we had built our own prison, so it wasn't like anything new. In fact, we were even happy with the lockdown. At least what I even did for my husband, who goes out. Yeah, now he's working from home, and I mean, life is better and more interesting. So nothing really changed, for us, because we've been living the life in this form remotely and still doing the things that we should be doing. And all thanks to the teachings that we gained from Dr. Sunday.
We joked that the world is coming to meet us where we are, because when we started doing some things, one of them is when we stopped attending cathedrals for church and all that, and started doing online stuff. People saw us as crazy. So now they joined us.
They've joined us, yes. That's fantastic. That is definitely fantastic.
Another thing also.
Yes.
Out of the information we got from listening to DSA and some of the people he invited, we started something. We started homeschooling our kids.
Yeah. We started homeschooling our kids about 4 years ago. They were all thought we were crazy.
Right now when children are at home, so you guys were there already before.
I mean, what they're trying to do is something we're already used to doing.
We started like many years ago.
So that's what we're trying to explain, that nothing really changed for us. They are just, the world is just trying to live our own way of which we have been used to all this while.
And all this thanks to the exposure we had with DSA.
Yeah.
Meeting him is actually one of the best things that happened to us in recent times. I can't figure out any better thing, So it's we're very grateful to DSA. We're very grateful to all the materials we've been exposed to out of his own magnanimity, and we got it for free.
Yeah, so we how Pastor Sunday's teachings and messages have changed us. We want to start on the topic of purpose.
You guys are like, just listening to you, what is in my head. Oftentimes, when I host, I try to, help people to get them started, to motivate them, to guide them. But you guys came like a loaded gun, ready to like to just hit the road. You're just waiting for the video to just start, and then poof, you're ready to go. And I'm not going to stop that. I'm going to allow you flow. I'm going to allow you, to share all of the things that you have in your heart. And I know you have definitely an amazing journey and an amazing testimony to share. But before you start that, it will be great for people to meet you, because I'm sure that there are people, I know you, but I'm sure there are people who are seeing you maybe for the very first time, and they would like to meet you, they would like to know a little about you. So if you don't mind, can you introduce yourself to us before we get into your journey of transformation with Dr. Sunday?
I used to say ladies first, but
Yes.
today I'll say men first. Let the men go first.
Okay.
That's no problem. My name is Uche&Chioma Nwigwe. We live in Lagos. I live with my wife, Tatuki, and our two lovely kids, boys, in Lagos. I work in Lagos as well as a product manager in one of the financial organizations in Nigeria. So that's the exposure I have. I think that's enough introduction.
Okay, yeah, for me, I am an ex-banker. My name is Uche&Chioma Nwigwe. I used to work just like him. And after listening to DSA, we had to re-strategize the way we were operating. And I pulled out from banking industry 4 years ago and started doing my own things and, started developing myself and doing my own things basically. So I'm an entrepreneur and also so many other things that we'll discover as we continue moving. Okay, and also I am the operator of DSA Books Planet in Nigeria. So anytime you see that website flashing on the screen, so just know that I am the one who is operating that site here in Nigeria and managing the distribution of Dr. Sunday's materials here in Nigeria also. So this is me live. This is me direct from Lagos.
Exactly.
That's the Chioma.
You see why we needed the introduction, because I'm sure people who follow Dr. Sunday will hear myself or Dr. Sunday talk about contact Chioma in Nigeria. If you need the books, there's Chioma in Nigeria. So many of them might not have even seen the face of the Chioma who is behind the DSABooksPlanet.com that sells Dr. Sunday's book, and the person who can people can contact. So I think it's beautiful for people to actually put a face to the Chioma that they've been hearing all these years. Yes. And so this is Chioma. This is her. She's the one doing all the wonders, being a blessing and helping with blessing Nigeria, and other nations in Africa with Dr. Sunday's materials. So this is the lady that has been doing all of that, and we are very grateful for for helping to share all of the books and all of the materials of Dr. Sunday in Nigeria. And we're very grateful for that.
Okay.
Beautiful. So yes, let's get started. I think it'll be good for you to tell us how you first met Dr. Sunday, because tell us about how you first met Dr. Sunday, and maybe a brief summary of some of the things that you were into, so that we can have a contrast, so we can know where you're coming from, where you are now, and maybe where you're going to. So almost like a journey. So let's start from where you're coming from. Let's start from where you're coming from and how you met Dr. Sunday, and then how you moved on from there.
Okay, for us, meeting Dr. Sunday was accidental. We were normal people working in Lagos, doing our not 9 to 5. We say 9 to 5, but the nature of job we had didn't have a closing time. Wow. So when you find yourself in your house by 10 or 11, I have left office by 12 before, so there's actually no closing time. So 9 to any time. Maybe just be sure that it's not the next. You don't have to sleep there. So that was how our lives were. And we were happy. When the money was coming, at least on that 20-something that they will credit your account, it would be like some good compensation for all the hard work and all. Yeah. So we felt, we were not doing too badly at the time we met Dr. Sunday, but we had our challenges just like every other Nigerian had. And in our marriage especially, we had some challenges because we had done some business deals as hustling Nigerians. You know, we were trying not to depend on our salary, you know, trying to put our hands in some other things.
Yeah.
And we got our first born big time,
Wow.
you know, and we were really in a ditch. We lost our money, we lost a lot of money, we lost some people's money, and we were going to the police, EFCC, we couldn't recover these funds, and that was creating a lot of friction in our home.
Yeah.
So we tried all we could and nothing was working. So one day I just told myself, I just have to find the answer to this thing. You know, initially I was blaming my husband, you know, because I felt he was the one that did the deal. But I had to call myself to order, like, no, I can't continue to blame him. Okay, how am I going to prevent this from repeating itself? So I decided to just, you know, leave him to sort out the issue, however he wants to sort out with it. And I said I was going to go and look for information that would help me. And that was how I walked into a bookstore here in Festac, Lagos, and I started looking for materials. I told myself that day that I was going to buy every single material that had to deal with finance.
Wow.
I started packing all the books. I bought a Sam Adeyemi, I bought a Kenny Hagin, I bought all sorts of materials. And just as I was about leaving the store, I just saw this book, Money Won't Make You Rich. When I saw that book, I was initially very angry. I was like, I'm here to deal with my money issue. And someone is writing to me that money would make you rich. So I decided to walk closer to the shelf. I had the book. I said, let me even see who wrote this book. I picked it, and there it was written Sunday Adelaide. I said, I don't know this name, but my husband has mentioned this name to me before. Yeah. He told me that the pastor he was in Ibadan, the pastor he was attending his church in Ibadan had gone to Ukraine or had some association with us. So that was the first time I heard. I said, I've heard this name before, but I don't know him. I took the book, I went to the back of the book and I started reading. I said, well, if someone is writing that money won't make me rich, I think I'm really interested in knowing what that person has to say. Because right now, my problem is to fix my money issue.
Yeah.
So let me even hear what he has to say. So I bought that book as the last book, more out of curiosity, not even because I believed that it was going to do anything for me. I just said, let me hear what he has to say. And that was how Dr. Sunday walked into my home here in Lagos. So I think my husband can take it off from there, you know, how whatever happened. So, okay, yeah, I started reading the book. And, okay, well, because I bought the book out of curiosity, I decided to dump the rest of the books I bought. I said, no, this man that is writing this thing, I want to know what he has to say. And believe you me, by the time I was done with that book, that was the only book I ended up reading. The rest of the books are still in my shelf till today. I didn't bother reading them.
Wow.
I didn't bother reading.
Why?
Reading the book, beyond even answering the questions I had at that time, it started answering a whole lot of other questions for me. I read that book 3 times. The way I was carrying that book to work. My husband said, what is this book you're reading? What is going on? I said, please don't touch this book. Don't touch this book until I'm through reading. He said, no, I want to read. I want to see what you're reading. You're reading something. I said, don't worry. When I'm through, then, or maybe you should go to the bookshop and get your own, because I don't think I'm ready to, I'm not done with this book yet. I read that book over and over again. But there was a part of that book that I didn't really understand, because Dr. Sunday kept talking about how he raised 200 millionaires in church and all. And at this time, I was in Christ Embassy, and I was in a group in the church called The Haven. And all we do in that group is to raise money for the ministry and all that. And a lot of the members of that group were not able to meet their targets, okay? So when I saw that part of the book that said that doctor raised 200 millionaires, I said, wow, I want to know how he did this so that I can take the information to my group in Haven. Are we on?
Yeah, please keep speaking. We can hear you.
So that I will take the information to my group in Haven so that we can learn from him and be able to bust our target. You know, see, this was my heart desire. So I said, I'm going to, but in that book, he didn't explain how he raised the 200 millionaires. So I said, I'm going to write him to ask him to give me more information on this, because I wanted to help the ministry to grow in our finances. And that was how my interaction with Dr. Sunday started.
So that
was how.
So you wrote him. You wrote him a mail.
Yes, I wrote him. And so, in fact, at the time I wrote him, honestly, I wasn't expecting a response from Dr. Sunday. Because I'm a business development person, so I'm used to reaching out to people like, okay, let's even try our luck. So I said, let me just write. I told my husband that I was writing the mail, and I was even laughing at myself, like, what kind of silly thing am I doing? So I sent that mail, and in 24 hours, I got a response. The day I got that response, I couldn't believe my eyes. Dr. Sunday replied me and told me that he wanted to, he told him, he sent the mail to Joshua then, and said Joshua to get in touch with me and deal with all my questions that I had. And I think Joshua didn't respond on time. So I sent him a reminder that I didn't get this response from Pastor Joshua, that I'm still waiting for someone to put me through on this thing. Then that was how Dr. Sunday said, I'm going to give you a call. I said, I just know that this is not possible. I can't believe this. A pastor in which country in the world giving me a call. And that was how our relationship with him started.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, this is definitely a recurring testimony from many people. Many people have said it, especially people who are in Nigeria who understand how difficult it is to get to the top pastors. So oftentimes they say when they write Dr. Sunday, they write not expecting a response, and if they're the ones who really have faith, then they have faith that maybe his secretary will respond, or maybe one of his assistants will respond. But to their shock or to their amazement, they get a direct response from Dr. Sunday himself. And yes, and they don't get the response like 1 week or 2 weeks. They get it like maybe 24 hours or maybe 48 hours maximum, thereabout. So it really blows the mind of people. But if you've been following these life transforming testimonies, you realize that this has been a consistent, life principle that Dr. Sunday has been living by. I mean, from when it was way back in the university, we had a guest. I don't know if you watched him. We had a guest who actually studied in the former Soviet Union with Dr. Sunday and has known Dr. Sunday for over 2 decades. And he also shared his own testimony too, that is very similar to what you said, that's exactly who Dr. Sunday is. He honors everybody. He doesn't even if he does not know you, he has not seen you before, he has been doing that right from those days and is still consistent till now. So it's beautiful to hear that you also experienced that yourself. That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. So Mr. Otichi, you wanted to say something?
Yes, from my own side, I think I heard of Dr. Sunday in 2007. I was in Ibadan then, and I was attending a church.
Yeah.
The pastor of that church traveled to Ukraine and spent 2 months in Ukraine and visited Dr. Sunday. And so when he came back, he was all about, embassy of God. He got videos. Well, for the next month, what we're doing, we're watching Embassy of God videos. So he was so excited, came with so much passion of what's happening. So we played those videos. I saw what DSA was doing. So I was like, I think at that time I saw the video of DSA being invited. That was the year DSA was invited to the White House.
Yeah.
Okay, not the White House,
Senate.
the Congress, Senate, the U.S. Senate. And so I knew about him at that time, but years later I didn't I wasn't quite following. So when my wife came back with those books, like she said, it was at the time where at one of the lowest points in our life, and she came back with those books. I remember one of the books, I still remember one of the books was Trump and Kiyosaki, I think. So.
Yeah.
So she came back and said she was reading Money Will Make You Rich. to understand money and financial things. So I looked at it and I said, "Oh, the pastor talk about money. To me, pastors, the only thing they know is to ask you for your money." Yeah. That's the what does the pastor? If at all you want to read any book, you should read, the guys who we know who are the millionaires and all that. So what would the pastor tell you? The pastor will tell you how to go to heaven and other spiritual things. So why would you be reading? But when she read that book, she was so excited. She told me that I need to also look at this book. So eventually, I now wanted to read it. After she eventually allowed me to read it, so I started reading it, and it blew my mind. I was very shocked at a pastor writing such truth, and I was like, exposing such truth. Wouldn't you be afraid that your members would not donate money to you by telling people that don't become prosperous by donating money, sowing seed, and all that? This is the first time I'm hearing a pastor say such things. I'm like, there has to be something different, And like you mentioned earlier, my first job, I worked in a recording studio, and I worked with lots of pastors in Imo State, Owerri, where I grew up.
Yeah.
And I had personal relations with these guys, and I saw that most of them don't have interest in human beings. They don't even have interest in their members. They are more engrossed, they are more obsessed by their ministries.
Yeah.
The success of the ministry, that's all they are thinking about, the ministry, what happens to the ministry, and they cared little about members. You get so, and that's why typically it's very hard to actually reach a Nigerian pastor.
Yeah.
It's very, very, even if you knew them while they were coming up, once they are big now, you try to meet them, they are not going to ever, give you the audience and all that, unless you have something that would affect their ministry or benefit their ministry. That's when you're going to get audience. You're just one individual. They don't value the individual that much. So when she said she had some questions to ask Dr. Sunday, and she was going to write, I'm like, forget it. Do you know who you want to write? That guy is a big man now. Do you think he would have time? All the things. He's not going to respond. So I just laughed away. And so she wrote, and of course, she got a response. And I was just watching. I just like, okay, let's see how this unfolds. And one fateful Friday, after work, I got back pretty late. And as I was at the door, I knocked, and she told me, "Guess who's calling right now?" Someone. Guess who's calling us? I said, "Who?" Said Dr. Sunday, that he wants to have a video call with us. And I was like, "Wow!" So we sat down, and behold, he called.
Yeah.
And he spent nearly 3 hours. Yeah.
4 hours. Yeah, because
over 3 hours.
He spent over 3 hours.
The discussion was very engaging, exciting. He wanted to know us. We had questions, and he was just open. And I was blown away. I was just blown away.
We couldn't even sleep that day.
Yes, you become so excited and there's so much adrenaline in your blood.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience, and he brought us. He brought us over. That was when we discovered the Sunday Adelaja official on YouTube, and we went there, immersed ourselves in there, and before we knew it, we had watched and listened to over.
Okay, no, then he was having those series.
Yes.
Daily. That was when he was having the back-to-back morning and evening.
Series.
Yeah. If you see us then, when we're going to work, we plug our earphones.
Yeah.
We don't want to discuss with anyone. 7 a.m. Then it was 7 in the morning and 7 in the evening.
That's right.
Those series. I think he did it for 2 months at a stretch. And really, our lives took a new turn in those 2 years.
Wow. That's fantastic. What a testimony. And, I remember having a discussion with Dr. Sunday. And he was saying that people don't know, people don't understand. People just think he's just doing all of these things just for doing sake. But very few people really understand that what he's doing and why he's doing what he's doing. And you know, for me, I've been, it's been really, really a hard work, you know, trying to not just do what he does, but to really make not just the action be the focus, but to understand the reason why he's doing it and to make that reason become flesh. I don't know if you understand, because it's easy to see what someone is doing and want to just do it, like replicate it. So when you do it in that fashion, what you're replicating is the action. You are replicating the effects. You are just replicating the physical action, but there's something that is behind what you see him do that makes him do it and is consistent about it. But if it's just about, okay, Dr. Sunday would, you know, call people and spend time, and you just see it as a task, or you see it as a, you know, I have to just do it because I see DSA doing it, so I want to replicate his. I mean, there's already a timeline to that kind of thing, because very soon you're going to get tired, because sometimes you call people, and the very people you call and you spend 3 hours with them, tomorrow they'll tell you different stories, you know. So, and then you might get, you know, discouraged. Look at this person I actually even responded to. I even called the person, helped the person, and then the person is like that. So for that, I will stop calling people. The people don't even deserve it. That's not DSA. Because with DSA, people always get to tell him that DSA, you are too accessible, you are too open. Build walls around yourself, protect yourself. Somebody even wrote me personally and told me, I know you are close to DSA. Tell him that he's just too accessible. Why will he be calling everybody, or why will he be doing this to everybody? You have to block him so that he will not be meeting all these wicked people and all these fake people. I told the person, you see, this is a lost battle. Because Dr. Sunday is irredeemable. You cannot, no matter what you say, it's almost like he's into it, you cannot get him out. You know, even if the whole world, you know, turns against him and fights him after all the good he's doing, man, that man is going to keep doing good. He's going to keep loving people. And that is coming from his understanding of God, his understanding of love, to honor people. So for him, it's not just head knowledge. For him, it has become, it's like his flesh. So that's the reason why someone like you would call you, maybe he has not seen you, you're not his church member, he's not planning to collect any offering from you, any tithes, but he's ready to devote 3 or close to 4 hours of his time. And he has said it before, that 1 hour of his time is worth like $1,000. So what he just so if he speaks with you for 4 hours, what he has just done is that he has just invested $4,000 with you. You understand? So it's just amazing to hear this kind of testimonies, and it's a lesson for us.
Yeah,
big lesson. Dr. Sunday's life, he's just a model, honestly. A lot of lessons. But let's not
let's jump into the lessons. Let's jump into the lessons, because you're talking about lessons right now. So let's jump into the lessons. What's the very first thing that the impacts, and you're saying that only DSA told us the truth about life. So we want to know some of these truths that you got, and how it impacted your life and what you're doing with it now. Over to you.
To start, the problem in this part of the world is that people have the set of beliefs, and they don't care if those beliefs align with reality. We keep doing things over and over, and we don't care about the results. And we just think that by repeating those things and having faith, that's the way to live. Dr. Sunday was the first person who explained a lot of questions we had. There are things we were doing because every other person, did it. But those things, at the back of our heart, we knew that those things were not really the way things are, because when you align them with reality, you just don't, it didn't add up. So, but Dr. Sunday was the first person who told us how life worked. And we've assessed it in different ways, seen it, and we just saw that it's actually correct, it's actually right. So we'll jump into the lessons we've learned, the very key lessons we learned, and we're going to do like a comparison of where we were before on those things, and what we learned after our encounter with Dr. Sunday. So I think
yeah. So the first is on the topic of purpose.
Good.
We met Dr. Sunday. The topic of purpose was something, because of course we're Christians, we're going to church, doing all the church business activity, and the topic of purpose was something that we were supposed to find through prayers. And between my husband and I, we have been doing this church thing from days of Sunday school, at the age of my kids now. We've been doing all that, and up until the time that we didn't seem to really understand our purpose. In fact, it was actually still part of the prayers we used to make at those times, like God helping us, directing us into our purpose. And in fact, what even got my own case, what made it really bad was in the early days of my Christianity, I had read Kenny Hagin's books, almost all his books. So sorry, my people. See, this book thing I'm doing today is not today. I started a book. I've been a bookworm.
Yeah.
Kenny Hagin. I read all his materials, and one of the books, I can't remember the particular title now, where he was talking about different types of will, permissive will, and all sorts of will, and that one just twisted my head. I didn't know if what I was doing at that time, in fact, even on the topic of marriage, I was always confused. Okay, this one is coming now. He's proposing. Is it the permissive will for me?
Or the acceptable will? Or the perfect
Yeah.
will?
It was a big issue on the topic of purpose for me now, my own experience before I discovered Dr. Sunday's teachings on calling. And by the time he took those series, it was like all the scales fell off from my eyes. All the questions I had, even what I was struggling with, I had always known, even as a child. It dawned on me that even as a child, I knew my purpose all the while. And in my own case, even that knowledge of that purpose that I had was a source of conflict between I and my parents. So I told myself, so all this while, all these things that we had been quarreling about, arguing about, was actually in the direction of my purpose, because growing up, my mom wanted me to study medicine, just like you, doctor. They wanted me to be a medical doctor. And that was where I got it wrong. All my life, I was made to believe that I had missed my calling as a doctor. And that affected me, and by the time I was through with my university program, I ended up reading microbiology, which when I look at it today, I had no business in that field. In fact, I had no business in pure sciences to start with, and Dr. Sunday's materials on Who Am I and the Calling series helped me to realize, first of all, that your calling and your purpose is not something you start disturbing God about. It's already in you. You were born with it.
Fasting and prayer.
You'll be surprised a lot of ministries are having sessions for those people now. Fasting and praying for you to discover God's direction and leading for your life and all those things. All these things are already in us. They are in your personality, they're in your desires, they're in your passion, they're in your interest. And it was then that we now started doing that self-study and personal assessment that brought us into some of the things that we started doing now. And there was so much freedom that came with that knowledge for us. I'll let my husband, say what he has to say on that topic.
Yeah, on the topic of purpose, in Nigeria, the religious background here, it's a little different, and that was how we grew up. That was our background. There, it's mystified. So you're told, there's an express will of God for you. So, and your work is to discover it. And you have to pray, you have to build your faith in the Lord. You have to sharpen your ears to hear from God. And so it was that mystified. And in fact, you're told that you never get to know the purpose for your life. So it's actually a continuous struggle, a continuous thing. You continue to strive, So, for any Christian around, with that background, you're just confused. In fact, when you want to take decisions, you're just wondering, is it the will of God? Is it not? You pray, okay, God, give me a sign. God, can you give me a sign?
Confirmation.
Let me know, confirmation, all sorts of things, and even when you get a confirmation, you're still not confident. You're just wondering. If you feel confident and say, okay, this is the will of God, and I go for it, and while you're inside, something bad happens, and you're like, maybe
it's not the will of
God after all. Yeah. So that was how it was, and up till now, I'm sure many Christians are walking about in that kind of, shrouded in mystery. I spoke to some people like of it, and when they talk about purpose, they're all saying that have to continue praying. Nobody knows the will, but when we learn from DSA, he made it very clear. We understood that purpose is even in your design.
Yeah.
Just like you have a spoon. If you give a spoon to a monkey for the first time, the monkey, by holding the spoon on the handle, would know that this thing was created. This long handle is actually meant to be held, and the head was, you can actually use it to scoop. So we don't have to wait for God to come and call us, my son, or my daughter, this is your purpose. The purpose is not something that you grow up, and when you start asking God, you now go to a shelf of purpose, and now, say this one will be very good for Anu, and say, Anu, take this purpose.
Yeah.
In God fashioned you for a purpose. God put that thing in you, and a clue is actually to look inwards, pay attention to yourself, and learn the things that you have a natural inclination for, things that you're naturally drawn to, things that when you start doing them, that's what gives you joy and all that. And since we know that we are created to make this world a better place, to add value to this world, your purpose and the problems that you want to solve, where they intersect, that's, your calling, that's your mission here on earth. So it brought a lot of clarity for us. And right now we have a lot of clarity in that direction, and we are clear on what we are doing, what we are chasing. We may not have gotten at the level we want to, but we actually in the right direction, and we're making progress. So that's was a big one for us. Fantastic. Up till now, people fill up this vacuum of purpose with things. Some people think that their purpose is their families, their marriage, their spouse, their children. Some fill it up with the material things. Some fill it up with their job and all that, and they define themselves with those things. And the problem is that when you take away these things that they are holding on to, it's as if their world has ended. Yeah. And that's why in this COVID period, some people who held their job so much, when they lost the job, or just the fact that they were told to stay at home, they now had a problem. And this is when people have not understood their purpose. It's a big problem.
Wow.
And of course, it's not just for us as couples, as individuals. When you understand your purpose, your path is cut out for you. You don't get distracted. Because before then, we are just running about anything we see, we just run into it.
Yeah.
This might be the one that will help us. So, any other thing, they say they are doing this, just rush into it. They say they are doing this, just rush. So, but now, understanding our purpose, there's things that they tell us, and this is so exciting, so wonderful. Just say, yeah, I know, but My path is cut out. I know what I should go into and what I should not. It's not in line. It's a line. And you just go through. There's less distraction.
Beautiful.
And lots of. Do you have anything to say on purpose?
Yeah. So
what materials helped you? Because it's beautiful for you to tell us how you do it, but it would be also great if you can tell us what materials really helped you. You know, was it Dr. Sunday's book, or was it a teaching?
Yes,
and
so, at the time, then he had this series, the Calling series. If you go on Sunday Adelaja official,
Dr. Sunday
there are
Adelaja.
about 20. Yeah, I think 21, 26 videos on that series where he took time to break this thing down. By the time you're done with those videos, you will be talking like we're talking, or better than us. Then another book that you must read is Who Am I? Why Am I Here? Before you read any other book of this, I think that you should answer this question for yourself. Who am I? Why am I here? Because that question, until you're able to understand that question, you haven't started living.
Yes.
You may be breathing oxygen, exhaling carbon dioxide, going about, but until you're able to answer this question and position yourself in life, you have not started, you're not in this world. Just you're as good as under 6 feet. Seriously, you're as good as not here.
So
beautiful. So this we can see the book on the screen. We can see the book on the screen. Can you help me? That is Who Am I? Why Am I Here by Dr. Sunday. So that is the book right there. Beautiful, beautiful. You're about to say something, Mr. Uche.
Yes. So we have this opportunity of mentoring young people. We encounter some young people, and one of the first things we do, we give them this book. Who am I? Why am I here? Because that's before we really interact with anybody, you have to read that book. You need to understand it, and we give you an assignment. You don't just read it for reading's sake. You have to do an assignment. You have to actually write a review of the book, and we have the discussion. And most of the time, when these young people read this book, it's the first time they're actually asking themselves that question. It's the first time they are encountering themselves at that level. It's really eye-opening for them. Nobody has ever taught them that. Nobody, no church, in Nigeria, it's talking about all these things. And these are the things that are available, through Dr. Sunday. It's really mind-blowing and very exposing.
Beautiful.
So a lot of
beautiful. That's amazing.
And in fact, another thing this book did for us is even in directing our own children, because the understanding of this material from Dr. Sunday has helped us. In fact, we just told ourselves that our children, they don't need to suffer like we suffered. So many years trying to find this calling, trying to discover this secret. So we started keeping journals for them. We already noting their personality, their temperament, the unique things about them, which we put down for them separate journals. And we get to talk to them, so that way they don't, one person does not feel that they are less or better than the next person. By the time we engage with them and tell them, no, you're good in this area, but you need to do better in this area. You're good in this area. So, of course, they are kids, they may not be able to understand perfectly everything we're saying. But that is one way that, you can help your child, because a lot of children, this issue of confidence, that's when we're little. When someone feels that, oh, because I didn't do this, that's why I'm this, or that's why I couldn't achieve this. No one is better than the next person, so we need to, is helping us, in directing our children on time, so that by the time they are fully of age and they're able to really understand what we're saying, we'll hand over those journals to them and they will continue. They must read their Who Am I? Of course, that one is the short thing for them. There's no how they will escape it. They must read Who Am I and do their own independent research, because we are their parents, of course, not their own God, because they too need to do their own questioning of themselves and discover these things also by themselves. So I would advise everybody
treasure
to go ahead to, if you're a parent watching this, the best thing you can do once you have even answered your own question, because you can't even parent right if you don't even know who you are. That's one thing that we have not realized. You have to be able to answer this question for yourself before you can raise and direct another person.
Yeah.
So that book is a must read for every living soul watching this video, and whenever this video, wherever it will go to. Who Am I? Why Am I Here? By Dr. Sunday Adelaja is a must read by every human being in the world.
And this is to speaking to our viewers and everyone listening. People are complaining right now about the issues happening in Nigeria, the cases of rape and all that, youth restiveness, the loss of value in the country. And this stems from a lack of identity. People don't know who they are. There's unemployment and all that. People are just roaming about the streets, getting involved in different things. The young people, particularly, this book, Who Am I, would actually transform any young person that gets to read it. And it's our desire to make sure it's in the hands of every young person in Nigeria. Every young person in Nigeria should read this book. And that is the starting point to the transformation that we want in this country.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. What a start, right? What a start. Wow. Starting with purpose, starting with, discovering your identity. I think that's definitely the starting point, right? Where everyone must start. And it's great that you're starting on that note, where everybody must do their best to get that book, Who Am I, Why Am I Here, and to discover their calling, to discover their purpose, to discover their identity. Fantastic. I'm sure you have another area that you want to talk about.
Yes. On the issue of time, we learned when Pastor Sunday started sharing on the time series.
Yes.
For me, because then I used to think I was one person who was, very time conscious, very disciplined with my time.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, what was he going to say again about time? But when Doctor started talking about time, he took it from a totally, in fact, I didn't even know there was anything about conversion. When he started, I was lost.
Yeah.
When he started talking about converting time, I said, what is conversion of time? And the topic of time, I live in Nigeria, is one now on the level that I was even operating is a problem for most Nigerians, because this thing called African time, it's a big problem. You tell the Nigerian, oh, this meeting is starting by 4. You're going to meet them, they're going to show up at 6 p.m. So just if you want a meeting to start, just give them like 2 hours before your real time, because people are going to start working in like an hour or 2 hours to the close of the meeting if you didn't plan well. So African time is a very big issue in my country where I live. Yeah. So I felt I even knew how to manage time until I started, reading and engaging with Dr. Sunday's materials on the time series. He did a series on time too, and he also wrote a lot of books on time.
Mm-hmm.
And
which book in particular do you want to talk about?
Okay, yes, on what do you do with your time?
Okay.
And how to become great through time conversion.
Yeah.
How to become great through time conversion, or what do you do with your time? Now, for me, after listening to those series by Dr. Sunday, just like we were talking about this COVID period, a lot of people are worried that, oh, they've locked us in our homes, we can't go out to meet with people, and some people are even bored. Like right now, when people are talking about boredom, I find it very strange. That word does not exist it doesn't exist in this place anymore, because right now we're even struggling for time. The 24 hours we have seems not to be enough anymore, and someone is talking about being bored, and this was all to the knowledge and the understanding of the teachings of the time series that we learned from Dr. Sunday. And the way he broke the topic of time, we will be measuring maybe time. Okay, of course, then before then, yeah, I would keep to time, but a whole year would have passed without me really saying that, okay, this is what really happened to me in this year. Oh, I have marked my birthday. Oh, I've added one more year to myself, and that's something to celebrate for, or to give thanks for. But right now, because of this information that I gained, if a day passes, I have to judge myself, not even by 24 hours, by my hours, by my minutes, by my seconds. That is how we are now working with our time. So the knowledge of time was the area that we also got our transformation, in our in experience with Dr. Sunday's material and teaching.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Mr.
So
Chichi, you want to add some things to it?
Yes, I have to. When it comes to time, it's very interesting. What DSA, what Dr. Sunday taught us was a totally new concept. Growing up, you're taught time management. You should do things on time, or maybe show up for meetings on time and all that. But Dr. Sunday was the first person who taught us the currency of time. That time was the greatest, resource God gave you. In fact, life is actually an opportunity, to spend your purpose, in the right way. That was mind blowing. And if you look at it in Africa, why Africa is so poor is that we spend our time wasting our time a lot. I remember growing up, there was a lot of wasted time, because we had no concept of time conversion. I remember when there's no light, no electricity is a problem in Africa. So once there's a power cut, people just pause their lives.
Life is paused.
People sit down, they stay somewhere, stare at things, even when that's what kill time. That's the concept of killing time. They just look for something to do, let time while away, or you go to sleep. And you see people sit for hours doing nothing, absolutely nothing. That's likely the life of Africa, people in Africa here. Right now, during this COVID period, see people gather and they are playing maybe board games, board checkers, and all that, and they start that from morning till night. Because they can't go to work, they can't do anything, so they just gather. You see men, heads of homes, and they just stay there from morning till night. And that's like, what a wonderful way to waste your life. Time is actually life. Our life is comprised of the time given to us. So Dr. Sunday taught us that you actually become everything you want to be through time conversion.
Yeah.
And we understood the concept that there are 3 things you do with time, that you can, waste time. Anything you're doing with your time that you're not going to get value from. You can also spend time. This is legitimate things you have to do, but you're still not going to get value from those things. You have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to take your bath, you have to dress up. So that part of your day goes without you getting value from them. Then there's the 3rd thing, the conversion of time, the investment of time, and that's what you get value from. So the amount of time you invest, and he told us how he actually makes up for lost time. And so he combines the spending of time with investment of time. So, that when he's taking his bath, he's also listening to things. When he's eating, he's, so I was like, wow. And, when he told us that in a day, he spends at least 5 hours
on personal
development. And, that when he's busy, he spends as much as 3 hours. And, the demonstration he gave us that, by just a drop of water, you add a drop of water every day, and before you know it, you actually build yourself up in time. That you can build your network through time. I actually understood why we were the way we are, the place we are in Africa.
Yeah.
Because people don't, invest time. People waste time. There's a lot of wasted time in Africa. It is our culture. It is, So because of that, because before I go out to watch on weekends, I'll go to watch Premiership, and I'll spend like 2 hours on Saturday, spend like 2 hours on Sunday to watch Premiership. Since that time, I stopped watching football. What I do is I go to watch the highlights, and of course, while I'm watching it, I'm actually doing something else. I just get to, because I can't spend 2 precious hours of my time just for something that bragging rights. My club won or my club did not win. I can't remember the last time we watched.
I can't remember.
I can't remember the last time. I think it's actually the last time was before we met DSA.
Yeah,
the last time you did what? The last time you did what?
Watch a movie.
Watch
yeah.
a movie.
Yes. Up to now, I've not watched Wakanda. What's that?
Black
that movie?
Black Panther. Black Panther.
I've not seen it. I've not seen it. I can tell you everything that happened in that movie from reviews, from clips I see on CNN and everything. I can actually have a conversation. I can tell you the actors, but I have not seen that movie. I can't just spend.
So you value your time now more than ever before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just changed. We changed our concept of time.
Beautiful.
Now, in our home, we sit on our system, and we're actually adding value to ourselves, because we know, the essence of time.
Beautiful.
And also another aspect, when I meet people who are really smart, like where I work today, I have a superior and a director who he's like a walking encyclopedia. So I hear my colleagues say, wow, that guy is so smart, he knows a lot and all that. How as if he became like that through magic. I tell them that all this guy did was spend time.
Converting his time.
He spent a lot of time converting time. And that's the result you see when
Amazing.
You actually convert time.
Amazing.
Get yourself, build your next time.
These are amazing truths. Amazing truths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did something in my area where I work. I met some young men who were actually really good when they discussed, things in technology, the latest happenings and advances in technology. Everybody like, oh wow, these guys are so smart. So when I encountered those guys, you know what I did? I signed up to some, journals and things, on those areas, those fields.
Yeah.
And what I was doing, like every day, I had 1 hour of information. I consumed 1 hour of information on that field. And before, in a month, I was sounding like them. I was talking like them.
Yes.
I just knew it wasn't magic. All you need to do is convert time.
Beautiful.
Convert time. And that's what we're not doing in Africa. And
Beautiful.
DSA said something. Dr. Sunday Adelaja said something. He said, nobody is greater than you. Nobody. They just converted more time than you.
Beautiful.
So it has even affected my confidence. When I see people, I see leaders and all that, I know that they are not better than me. Their DNA, they don't have a better DNA than me. All they did was convert time, and if I also commit enough time to do what they've done, I'd actually be even better.
Powerful.
It's a wonderful concept.
Let's see the book again.
Yeah.
Let's see that book again. You're about to say you're applying it to your children. Let's know how you apply it to your children while we see the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we apply it to our kids, our children. That's the book, How to Become Great Through Time.
Good. Fantastic. That's amazing. Well, I love your strategy, and I love the way you're making your presentations and talking about your journey and highlighting, key pillars, that has made you who you are. Because every house that you go to, of course, it starts with the foundation, and then you have the pillars that actually sustain the house and makes it stand. So I love the fact that what you're sharing, from the very first point you gave, which is on understanding calling and purpose. That's like the foundation of everything. That's like where it starts. So there's not, you can't build without the foundation. The foundation is everything. So understanding your calling and your purpose, I will interpret that as the foundation of everything. That's where everything starts. And then understanding what to do with your time conversion is like one strong pillar that you need, to help you, build your life and help you live a successful life and an effective life. So I want to get some more pillars from you. What's the next one?
Okay. So the next one is work. The concept of work.
Beautiful.
And I want you to go first.
Okay, fine. on the
ladies first.
Like I explained in the introduction, we were already working. We were working so hard on our jobs. And our understanding of work was, of course, get a good job with a good pay, and of course, enjoy your work while you enjoy your money. And we felt we were doing good on that path already. But interacting with Pastor Sunday through his work series, because he did a whole series of work, and he's written quite a lot of books on work too, we realized that, yes, we were working and earning salary from those jobs, but the more important work is the work you do on yourself. Working hard, tilling your field, in the area. Now you have discovered your calling or your purpose or the direction that God has set you on. Then begin to work and develop yourself in that space. Begin to research, do all the research that you need to get or you need to do. Begin to take action and just start working on that purpose. That for me was really, really mind-blowing, because yes, we were working, but we were working wrongly. Let me put it that way. We were working wrongly. Now, not to say that taking up a job is bad, no. But we needed to have that understanding so that we started, changing our strategy. Yes, we will do that job, but on that assignment that has been given to us, what is our work? What are we doing on that? How are we preparing ourselves for that assignment? What are we going to be remembered for when we leave here? One of the things that Dr. Sunday keeps talking about is that he is living for 500 years. And people started asking him questions. How do you want to live for 500 years? Are you going to be another Methuselah? He said, no. By my work, by the things, by my efforts. Yeah. So that for us as a game changer is a game changer for me. And we have also, that really changed our concept of work. You go now.
I'll start with, in Africa here, in the religious setting in Nigeria, work is something that people hate. People hate work. When you mention work, labor, they say it's not my portion. And why? Because there's been this teaching around favor, grace, the grace of God will make you achieve things without working. There's a quote by one of the most popular pastors, men of God in Nigeria, who said that, one day of favor, 10 years of labor. Just one day of favor is greater than 10 years of labor. God. In trying to produce favor and grace, they belittled and watered down the essence of work. So people don't want to work. When you say, I was in a men's Christian group, chat group, and I mentioned things around work and labor. They said, no, I don't want to do that. That's not my portion. No, that we don't want to work. We just want little effort. You don't want to work like an elephant and eat like an ant. They are just told all those things. And whenever you mention work, they tell you that it's not by work,
It's a
that they
course.
borrow. This is the example the pastors keep giving, that wheelbarrow teachers are doing a lot of work and they are not getting anything. It's not your portion. It is a course. You'll be working and be eating like an ant. So they've watered down the work, the essence of work.
Yeah.
And funny, all these things are in the Bible. When we encountered Dr. Sunday, we learned that you can state it. For you to fulfill your purpose, for you to achieve any meaningful thing in life, you have to walk. You have to walk. One of the best books you read on work is Urgently Become a Workaholic.
Urgently Become a Workaholic.
Urgently Become a Workaholic. Work is the opportunity to become like your creator. It was through work God created the earth. He did everything through work. And work is the opportunity to express your creative genius, to bring yourself out, to bring what is inside of you. The natural things, we convert them to become useful things through work. And so people should not be afraid of work. We should love work. So, and that is why in Nigeria, people don't love work. Right now, it's a problem with Nigerian youth. Nobody wants to work.
It's a very big problem, really.
Nobody wants to work.
It's a very, very big problem. Our youths are wasting, and people are complaining today that there is no work, we have unemployment problem. But I don't think that we have unemployment problem.
Yes.
What we have are unemployable youths.
Yes.
And that's because of what religion has done to us, to this economy. Like what he's explaining, religion has taught us that few days of the 1 day of favor is going to cover for all the years of work. So people are running away from work. And another thing that religion has done is this teaching that the wealth of the wicked
will be
transferred to us.
It will come to you on your bed while you're sleeping.
Yes.
These are some of the teachings that are wasting our youth today. I don't know. It's really, a terrible thing, because our young people need a proper orientation of work, and the right concept of work, because the attitude to work is really, really poor. And that's the reason why the country is in the state that is in today. It's not getting better. It's not looking good at all. So this is one area.
Yeah, this is one area that complete your sentence. Sorry for cutting you short.
Yeah, so just rounding up on that point, that this is one area that we got changed in our minds on the concept of work from DSA's teachings.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and like you said.
Yeah, but you wanted to say something.
No, don't worry. You guys are our guests. Let me hear from Mr. Uche before I say what I want to say.
Yeah, she said something that working on your purpose, discovering your purpose and working on it, because when you talk about work, it's not just waking up and start working. Work needs to be directed, channeled in the right direction, and that's actually one with knowledge. And the best place to work is on your garden, on your land, yes, on your purpose, on the area that God has called. Because if you're putting a lot of energy and work in another field that is not your place, you'll be exerting a lot of energy, and then you may achieve little. But when you are working on your purpose, when you're putting in the time, the hours, you will easily be outstanding. In a number of teams I work in, I easily show as become a star. And it's not perfect because I try to put in much more effort and hours than every other person in the team. I had some young interns who came to work with me, and I told them, I work with my team is an A team. So if you want to be here, we are going to be better than every other person. And it's simple. We just have to put in more hours than other people are putting. There's no magic formula. It is work. And of course, in the Bible, it's clear. Jesus said, I must walk the walk of him who sent me while he's there. Because the time is coming when no one will be able to walk. So Paul said that the grace, it's not me, it's God's grace. But I did a lot more work than every other person,
Yeah.
So just no way we can avoid this war. Work is actually how we can transform this country, how we can transform this nation. And it's sad that in Nigeria, when you engage young people, they're not interested in work. They want money, they want the fame, but they're not just interested in the work. And for me, it's really sad that we're teaching these people favor, destiny helper. I watched, I'm sorry to mention names, but I watched a video of that's Redeemed RCCG, where I saw millions of people, young people, youths, and the man of God called everybody and said, put your hand on your head. Put your hand on your head. So they put their hand on their head and say, oh God, my father, send help. Send help. Send help. And I'm like, oh God, what is this? You should be telling this people to go and work. Don't mind the type of work, You see people who are unemployed and they just can't pick a smaller type of job to do. They are feeling too big. We've left agriculture in Nigeria because of people can't imagine themselves after going through university, they can't go back to the farm to start working. So it's this whole concept of work needs to be changed in Nigeria.
But we're going back to the farm now. Everyone has to end up there. No petrol. The fuel is gone. We are all going to go into the farm
to do the work there. Amazing.
So
just listening to you, and I'm particularly happy that you're making a lot of references to Nigeria and to Africa. First, that you're Nigerians yourself, and you are also located in Nigeria. And I'm sure you are aware of Dr. Sunday's plan and our plan to actually come to Nigeria for the national transformation. But just listening to you talk about your transformation journey and how you are able to relate that to societal transformation, how that could lead to the transformation of Nigeria is so beautiful to watch. Because many times when Dr. Sunday, the time you used to really come out to say, I'm coming to Nigeria, I'm bringing transformation to Nigeria, Nigeria will be changed, Nigeria will be transformed. People, even till now, people like you, Joker, you're just talking, you're just blabbing.
Not a joker.
You're talking, you're just talking. But I'm listening to you now. And it's like you guys know exactly what it takes to transform the nation. You know exactly what is wrong because you're just giving a very good analysis of following the principle of cause and effect. Okay, the reason why Nigerians are like this, and it's beautiful how you made references to what is happening right now, even from when you started talking about the identity issue and then what we have in the society right now with people who are hooligans and many of the vices we see. And you made a reference to that, saying that if people will discover their calling, discover their purpose, discover their potentials, and we're going to have that fixed. Then moving from there, you went to the issue of time, and the reason why we have zero or minimum productivity in the nation. Why? Because people are lazy. People don't know what to do with their time. But now coming to work, if Nigerians can, if our message can change from instant gratification on wanting just results, but ready to go through the process of work, get into the process of production, we're going to have a changed nation. So you're speaking to me now, national transformation agents, you guys know exactly what to fix the nation, even better than what some politicians, some politicians are clueless of what you're talking about.
Yes.
They come out and they have whatever campaign, whatever stuff they want to talk about, but they don't even talk about what you're saying. And what you're saying is the very thing that can actually bring a change to our nation. So for me, it's just beautiful to hear it from you, being a disciple of Dr. Sunday, learning from him, and going through the transformation yourself in your life, and seeing how from your own personal transformation, you can bring it to the nation, and you can see practically, you have the pictures, and just what you're saying, you can see practically that if we can fix this, then we can get this result. If we can fix this, then we can get this result. And that's beautiful. I don't know if our viewers are hearing that, but that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm seeing. That these are just people who are in Nigeria, there in Lagos, and who have the answers to the problem of our nation.
Yeah. Dr. Sunday has given all the answers to the problems of our nation, and we have experienced these things. So we're talking from our lives, and I can tell you that these materials will yet transform Nigerians. The reason why, if everyone is listening and following through on what we're saying, there is always a process. Process must precede results.
Yes.
You can't get any result without going through the process.
Yeah.
Like even when we were having this session today, we're preparing for this meeting. I was telling my husband that these materials, there is no other solution for this country apart from these materials that DSA has put out there. Yes, we will get there really, but I believe that we are going through a process now, and whether Dr. Sunday comes to Nigeria or he doesn't come to Nigeria, we are going to do something about the problem of this country.
Beautiful. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
The area that we have discovered that is our field. So what we're going through now is our process. We're going through our training process. We're going through our learning process. We're understanding the tools and the materials and the systems that we need to put in place to get this to work. So we'll get there.
Beautiful.
So there is really, I'm very convinced that the solution of this country is in these materials. I have not seen them in any other place but in these materials. We would get it. We will get there.
Fantastic.
Soon.
Fantastic.
Just adding to what she said, what we are saying is not something that we've not experienced. I met some young people who came to do internship in my place of work and all that. And for those of them who were willing to listen, I told them some of these key pillars, and these are the things that can translate your time, transform your life, key pillars of time, and all that. And by just applying those things, their life just transformed. One of them, when he finished his internship, everybody in the organization said, wow, this guy, right now, if you're coming back to this organization as a graduate, we're going to employ you because you were outstanding. You were outstanding. And this was because of the things he applied. And we've seen young people and we taught them these things, and their life just moved from zero to, something that they never expected.
Beautiful.
So these things are not like far-fetched. They're not in the air. We've tested these things with our own lives, we can't keep talking.
We've also tested some of them in the lives of some other people. So
and we saw you
these materials work. There is no debate about it. DSA's materials work.
And that's why we are very confident.
Well, did we just lose them? I know. I don't want to believe that. Okay, so this is just amazing. We have to get them back. I mean, great thoughts right there. We're going to do our best to get the Nwigwes back, so they can continue from where they stopped. But yeah, I don't know if you are there listening to this conversation, but I think you should already, see vividly in your mind, the level of impact that Nigeria, would receive in a matter of time. Nigeria does not know what is coming. But this testimony from the Nwigwes is just, it just gives us a picture, that yes, if Nigerians can go through the same transformation process that they've gone through, with understanding for the ones they've spoken about now, understanding their purpose, understanding, time, the resource of time, understanding the blessedness of work and what work will do to our lives as individuals and collectively as a nation. This will definitely bring a transformed nation. These are fixed laws and principles that has been working for ages, and will keep working, even till Jesus comes. So if you're watching us right now, and you've not shared this video, I want to encourage you to please go ahead, do your best to share this video to Nigerians, share it to Africans, share it to everybody you know. The conversation is quite interesting, and the things that they've highlighted so far, I think that really mind-boggling, and there are things that definitely should, ignite, the hearts and, the minds of our people, knowing that, hey, these truths are available, and, it can bring transformation to their life. But before we get them back, I want to just make an announcement quickly on the book that Dr. Sunday just released. It's a new book. It's titled Why I Write Books and Why You Too Should Write Yours. Dr. Sunday released this book to give answers to the question to many people who wanted to understand why is he writing books. And if you listen to the testimony of, if you've been listening to the testimony of the Nwigwes, you realize that they've highlighted some major books, in all of their journeys that helped them, from the calling and understanding your calling and your identity. They talked about the book, Who Am I? Why Am I Here? And when it got to time, they talked about the book, What to Do with Your Time and How to Be Great Through Time Conversion. And then getting to the subject of work, they talked about several books, but the one we saw on the screen was the book, How to Urgently Become a Workaholic. Well, these are just few books, but Dr. Sunday has over 100 books already in English that you can get, including this one, Why I Write Books and Why You Too Should Write Yours. So if you're watching us and you want to read this book for free, you can do that. All you need to do is just to be a subscriber on Amazon Kindle Unlimited. That gives you access to all of Dr. Sunday's books available on Amazon Kindle Unlimited. So you just need to subscribe to Amazon Kindle Unlimited and you get all of his books in the e-copy. And also, if you're in Nigeria or in Africa, you want it cheaper than Amazon, there is a platform that is called BAM Books. That's what you can see on the screen right there. It is BAMBOOKS.io. So go there, subscribe for their packages, and then you'll be able to get Dr. Sunday's books also there for free. And with our guest today, Chioma, she also sells Dr. Sunday's books, the hard copy. So you can get the hard copy in Nigeria by going to DSA Books Planet, DSA Books, that is BOOKS Planet.com. It's one word, and you can get the books, the hard copy from that website. So I don't know if they're back already. So okay, we're happy to have you back.
Yeah. I'm so sorry about that.
It's all right. It's all right. So let's jump into the next one. I don't know if you have any other thing you want to share that as the pillars. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So without wasting much time, we want to talk about the next pillar, which is problems.
Problems.
The concept of
problems. Yes.
Pillar. Yeah. Problem is the main pillar.
Yes. In Nigeria and from our background, religious background, when we talk about problem, it's something people should be saying, God forbid, it's not my portion. And, it's in the Christian setting, nobody wants problems. People are running away from problems. Nobody wants to own problems. It's so bad that when you see quotes from men of God, they say this week, all your problems shall go away. There was a convention, I don't know where it was it in Dubai, where the pastor of Redeemed, the pastor of Redeemed, and even they showed the vice president of Nigeria where they got combs, and they said if you comb your hair forward, you're going to comb away all the problems in Jesus' name. Now begin to speak in tongues. So everybody started combing their hair. People brought 4 combs and they were combing their hair forward. And that's how all our problems go away.
For someone like you now, there's no hope for you. Because there's no hair for you to cut. There's no hair for you to comb.
Okay.
Just keep making that forward motion that you're going to push all the
by faith. Me too. I don't have any hair too myself. So our problems will remain with us.
So that mindset was a big problem. And you know why? people would do anything to make sure they don't have problems. So if it's sowing seeds, if it's making contributions, paying your tithe so that you won't have problems. And whenever you have any problem in life, they ask you, check your life. Have you defaulted on any seeds? Have you paid your tithe? And maybe, that's how you're opening the door for the devil to attack your life. And, they put it back on you before you just start checking. So for us, about the time that we had the financial challenge in our home, now, so I was just saying that maybe is this something that, because I've not given enough money and all that, so I was even sowing seed. From what I didn't have, I was sowing seed to make sure that my problems would go away, but they're not going away. And also, I felt that because I was a Christian, I shouldn't have problems. So when I come back and there are problems, maybe a little challenge, something happened and you have to fix it, I would rather feel bad. And like, why is God allowing this thing? Is it me? Is it something in my life that I'm not doing properly well? Is it sin in my life? So that's the concept. And that's the bondage that many Christians are walking under in Nigeria. But of course, when we started listening to Dr. Sunday, it was a totally different thing. It was shocked us. He said problems are your pathway to prominence. We learned that no person became great today in the world without solving a problem.
Yeah.
So in fact, instead of running away from problems, we should be looking for problems. We should embrace problems.
And he wrote a book, Hello, I'm Searching for Problems. We should be searching for problems everywhere. This was totally different from what we were used to hearing. And people really don't nobody wants to hear anything about problems. And in fact, what was more touching to me was in the series, there was one he did about children, families that had challenged children, and how they, loved those children and took them as part of them. Meanwhile, I was coming from a country where if you have a challenged child, you as a woman, you already have a problem. Already, without a challenged child, you have a problem. But now, when you now come into a home and bring in a challenged child, either you're a witch or something in your family has a problem, or they'll start checking your roots, they'll start checking your background. Even you will start questioning yourself. Someone is going to start calling you for deliverance session. So that was the concept. Although we were not really so much into the deliverance thing before we met Dr. Sunday, but ours was more of, religion. Oh, what haven't I done? Maybe my tithe. Okay, maybe last month I paid short of this amount. Okay, maybe I didn't really make it up, so the devourer is coming for me or something. We just start questioning ourselves. But with Pastor Sunday's materials, we learned that, in fact, where your problem is where your money. If you say you're looking for money, go and stay with the problem. Go and fix the problem. Go and solve the problem. And that's why I'm so excited to be identified with a country called Nigeria, because here we have
so many problems.
Much more than 200 million of us. I don't know how many we are even today now can fix, because of course I know COVID has taken some people. So we have so many issues in Nigeria. Everything is a problem. Even this rape issue that we're, currently battling with right now, the crime issue, all these problems, our monies are there. That's what the essay taught us, that your problem, when you fix this problem,
there is money.
There is money, and your prominence, your fame, your success is tied to this thing. And this was a totally whole new concept to us, compared to what we knew before we met him. So it was really a life-transforming one for us. And if you've not listened to the series on problems on Sunday Adelaja Official, or you've not read any of Pastor Sunday's books, like there was one I saw on the screen now, Problems, Your Shortcut to Prominence.
Yes.
You really need to go and get those materials so that you start changing your view of problems. Because truly, when you have a problem, it is your opportunity to shine. It's your opportunity to excel. It's the opportunity for you to be announced to the whole world, whatever that problem is. So it was really one of the most exciting things I heard. For us, we were no longer afraid of problems. we are no longer even praying away problems, because before now, that was, of course, whenever they bring that prayer point in church, our voice will be very loud. Oh, God forbid, problems, come against every problem.
Issue.
No, we are not coming
From
against
your
anything
father's
anymore.
side, your mother's side.
Yeah.
We're dealing with our problems with knowledge, because more than 70% of the issues that we have in our lives is because of the ignorance in that space.
Yeah.
So we deal with the problem by getting information about it and taking on the problem headlong, so that by the time you fix that problem, you can start saving other people that have the same problem. So I mean, he just liberated our minds, with that teaching on the topic of problem.
Yeah. Another side to it is that this is actually a solution to a lot of mental health issues. Because right now, I know the kind of stress that, just encountering problems used to bring to me. The fact that I get home and there's no power, I pull the gen and it goes bad at night. I'm like, why now? Why this very time I need this thing? It's a problem. It feels so bad, and but right now, when there are problems, I get happy, and I know that problems are meant to be solved. It's an opportunity to put your knowledge, your skill into play, and solve those problems. Why we work where we work today is because we are employed to come and solve some problems.
Yeah.
The great.
Wow. I hope we get them back. All right. Okay, I think they're back. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're about saying that the greats, that's where we lost you. The greats.
The great we know today in the world, the
Martin Luthers. I think I could read that. Hello? Are you back? Hello?
Yeah, we're here.
Great.
Yeah,
so you're about to say the Martin Luthers. That's where you broke.
I said the Martin Luther back, the Facebooks that we know, they were solving problems.
Yeah.
That's how they got into prominence. They identified big problems and they solved those problems.
Yeah.
So the bigger the problem you solve, the greater your fame, the greater your wealth. Today in Africa, as our young people are running away from Nigeria, running away, going to die in the Mediterranean Sea, that's how foreigners are coming to Nigeria, seeing problems to solve.
And taking all our opportunities.
Seeing problems to solve. And when they solve it, they cut away with lots of money. So the problem is that we are not equipping ourselves to identify these problems, own these problems, and start solving this problem. So if we start changing our attitude towards problems, it will change a lot in Nigeria. So I remember when we have some sessions for young people, we ask them to make a list of all the problems they think are around in the society, the environment. And when they make that list, and we ask them, what are the solutions you think that we can proffer for these things? And by the time they start thinking, they even start seeing that, wow, they actually have ideas to actually solve problems. But nobody is teaching us these things about problems. And we're told to avoid problems at all costs. And where people, even in talking, when there is any issue, we blame it on the devil or something, just trying to shift away responsibility from ourselves. So that's the whole thing. Where there's problem, there's money. That's the book, and it's a life-changing book. It's a concept about problems. I'll make you love problem and see that your money, your what you're looking for is in your problems, and the resources, the problem is actually a shortcut to what you're looking for. By solving a problem, it just brings you out.
Yeah.
Remember the story of David in the Bible, where for him to have gotten to the level of prominence, of course, he would have to gone through the ranks that his brothers were, to get to that level of prominence. But by just killing a Goliath, it just catapulted him into fame and prominence. And that's what problems does to our lives.
Powerful. Thank you so much. Wow, these are very strong things you're doing right here, and you're really giving out some very strong points, that definitely could change the whole of Nigeria. particularly even with these problems, because Nigerians are inundated with problems, left, front, back, center, everywhere. And the usual and general response to that is to find a way out of that Nigeria, to fly away, go to anywhere. And that's why some people they're dying in the Mediterranean Sea, in all of those places, trying to go to, to Italy and all of that. But if people will understand what you have understood about problems, then what we would have is, a whole nation filled with people who are, searching for problems and also seeking solutions to those problems, and that would definitely help with innovation, ideas, and all of that can actually boost our nation and make us a first world nation. So these are powerful things you're sharing with us. And I don't know if you have any other one. In Nigeria, we used to say Jara or Fisi or something like that. Yeah.
The next we want to talk about is money.
Good.
Money. This is something very big, because here in Nigeria, everybody's talking about money. Everybody's looking for money. People believe that money makes the world go round and all that. So, before now, the way we were very money conscious, we felt, we're going to work for money, and the whole concept of money. And also in the religious sphere, what was taught around prosperity was that when you sow seeds, when you donate resources, pay your tithes, God will bless you and you become wealthy, and they will bring out people to give testimonies on how they, sowed this seed in the life of the man of God and something happened to them. So that concept of money was actually poorly taught in Nigeria. Up till now, it's such a stronghold that if you remember when DSA started on the tithe series, and it also triggered lots of things. There was a Daddy Freeze thing on tithe, and the whole Nigeria was divided into two. For the first time, people could stand up against their pastors to say that tithe is not whether tithe is biblical or not, and all that, and because they were taught that if you don't pay your tithe, you go to hell and all that. So that's how people perceive money in Nigeria. So for us, yes, we were working hard, we are getting paid, but in terms of understanding how money works, we didn't have that full grasp of it. So
even though we're working in the financial services sector,
yes,
we just didn't know.
We didn't know because we just felt we receive our income and all that, live every day, next income, and all that. But when we read that book, Money Won't Make You Rich. Money will make you rich. As funny as the name sounds, but whenever I post that book, people will now ask you, so if money will make you rich, what will make you rich?
Abi?
So, yeah, people ask you, if money won't make you rich, what will make you rich? And inside this book, there's lots of wisdom. First of all, to understand the basics of money, that there are laws governing money. So if you want to become rich and wealthy, you need to understand those laws. You need to read and understand those laws and apply them. So it's not the way that we are taught that if you sow seed, if you sow dangerous seed, you get it back and all those things. And the funny thing is that people have been sowing seeds for 10, 20, 30 years and they've not become wealthy. They're still struggling in Nigeria. In fact, today Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. By that, Nigeria has the highest number of people living below the poverty line in the world. And this is a country where some people said that they were commissioned in their ministry by God to come and make Africa rich, come and make Nigerians rich. And what has happened is that they have actually become rich. From riding 504 Peugeot cars, they are now flying, having multiple private jets. From living in their sitting room, having their churches or ministries in their sitting room, they now have largest auditorium. Meanwhile, Nigerians whom they claim they came to power are actually getting poorer, and this is all because of the wrong concept of money that we are being taught. So in this book, you will understand what is wrong, as in what we are taught that is wrong about money, and also that the principles of wealth, money and wealth, laws of money and principles of wealth creation works for anybody. So whether you're a Hindu, a Muslim, it doesn't look at your faith. It's not. It doesn't care about your race, your creed, your belief system. Once you apply it, you will become wealthy. And all, even as Christians, what we should do is rather go learn these laws, go learn these principles, and apply it and become wealthy and bring our resources for the kingdom, and not the other way around. So this book was an eye opener. Right now, we are on our path, yes, to financial independence. We understand that, even when you're working for on a job and you're getting your income, you're just working for Uncle Sam, and how the trap that can actually put you in a trap. People get their income and they spend all that and they think that they are wealthy. But when you take out that source, they just find themselves flat on the ground. And this is a real something that keeps happening in Nigeria. You see people who say, I used to have money. We used to have money. So, but something happened and we're flat. That's a regular thing in Nigeria. And this comes from a poor understanding of the concept of money. Now we understand where money, the source of money, the source of wealth, and how you can actually convert the wealth within you to money, and also even the little principles and habits that one needs to apply to become wealthy. And we've actually done the calculation that even an average teacher in Nigeria, by applying these principles, can actually become wealthy, can become a millionaire, at least in Naira, by applying these principles of saving, living below their means, saving and putting into investments, educating themselves, becoming financially literate, and applying the power of compounding. They can actually, over time, build their wealth. And of course, when you learn this thing, you learn that this thing is not magic. It requires time. So, creating wealth is not something that you do like this. The way those testimonies that are shared in church and all that. And what has happened is that the Nigerian Pentecostal setting, teaching this magic money, was what sustained those teachings were oil money, corrupt money. People were looting without working. And so there was a lot of money in circulation at the time. So somebody will come and give testimony, I didn't do any work and I just got this thing. They were, they were filled by corruption, by people embezzling funds, funds that were for everybody's commonwealth, and they would, give out money. And so we built an artificial world that was not real. But all that is crumbling right now because with the new president, Muhammad Buhari, resources, funds are not just flowing around. I looked at Nigeria's projections. The budget for Nigeria in the first 3 months, what Nigeria expected to get as revenue, and what we got, the actual. And in all the indices, we are already on red, and Nigeria is even trying to implement austerity measures to actually cut out any area that would lose funds through. So because of this, all those testimonies are no longer happening again in churches. All those testimonies, I was here, somebody created my account and all that, because there's no money in circulation. And this was that all the teachings around money that we are taught, that by the time you sow seed, somebody will give you, somebody somehow from somewhere will come and give you money. All those are false. But when you apply the things we learn from Sunday Adala, when we apply those things, you see that you start growing. It's a long process, but you see yourself, you start growing, because by the time you live below your means, and we learned all these things, that in Africa, by default, we're actually at a disadvantage in terms of wealth creation. because we have so many things that are embedded in our culture that would prevent us from becoming financially independent. One, you typically, once you get a job, you have family members who come on to latch on to you. And before you know it, you're not just spending on yourself, you're spending on many people. And the funny thing is that, assuming you die, those people will survive. They'll just move on and find other means. But because of you're there, they're going to latch onto you. And because of we're emotional people, before you know, you just be spending on your resources on them. Once you get married, they tell you you're a man, so you should join this association, join these other associations. So in this association, we are donating money for so person. His father died, so we just want to do this. Want to come and give somebody a befitting burial. Your great grandfather died. You need to do a second burial for him. So all those things, resources are just going down the drain. In my own part, in my own part of the country, they believe that you're not a man until you have built a house in your hometown. And this is a rural area, your hometown, where you hardly ever go. So people will take a large chunk of their resources to sink in their hometown, where they get to go once a year or twice in a year. And that, resource is just there, lying fallow.
Wow.
And so that life actually drains us a lot of resources. Then, meanwhile, these are you have invested to actually grow your funds, grow your money, and then become a lot more financially independent much earlier. Yeah. So and the fact that it's all about equipping yourself with financial literacy, which is a big problem in Nigeria. Even you see professors in economics, and they don't know these things. You see people who work in the financial industry and they're not financially literate. They don't understand how money works.
They work in the financial industry, but they don't even know. They don't know the things that you guys already know by just reading. The things you know by reading the book, the Money Wants to Make You Rich, and all those other materials that you listen to. But now, when you listen to those materials, you read them, you can see clearly, because all of the things you are saying now, there are things that an average Nigerian doesn't have a problem with. They don't even see that is a problem. But now your eyes are opened. Now you have knowledge of the laws of money. And I know that you've also you've benefited from the Millionaires Secret Mentorship Group. learning from some of these things that is teaching there. So it's beautiful to see that there's a major mind shift as regards money, and then you can also open the eyes of people. And I'm just seeing that both of you have huge responsibility on your shoulders, because all the things that you can't afford not to transfer it to Nigerians, because it's like you carrying so much light, and if we're going to sit down and give you all the time today to talk about all of your transformation processes, I'm sure we'll not have enough time to actually exploit, because it's obvious that you are carrying so much light. There's so much understanding that you have. You're not even speaking like typical Nigerians. You're not thinking like typical Nigerians. It's like you're thinking differently. Your worldview is different. And that's the kind of change that we need in Nigeria. So it's amazing to hear your testimonies. And I know that you also want to say maybe a word or two about what you learned from Dr. Sunday as regards parenting. So I don't know if you want to say that before we call it a day.
Yeah, so on parenting, that's where we round up for today. Actually, we had to cut off many other things that we wanted to share with our viewers, because learning, but Dr. Sunday is like a well, a never-ending well. The deeper you go, the more you know, and it dawned on us that really he had the things we had learned from him had touched on almost every aspect of our lives. And that is why I always get a bit confused. And when I see the people that have learned some of these things that we have learned, because we've been on this platform for about 4 years now, and we can see what these teachings have done to us. First of all, changing the way we think and the way we see life. And now we're beginning to apply these things. And we can see that he wasn't just mounting some of these things. Like if you have listened to some of the series, on the family series, you will see when Dr. Sunday had brought out his children and he shared with us how he was actually training and raising his own children. He opened his life to us and he shared these things with us. In the same vein, those information that he has passed on to us are some of the things that have helped to make our whole, union, parenting, and marriage easy. Really, it's, of course, it's not a bed of roses on this side, but he gave us the principles that we're working with today that has made it, has simplified the process for us. And all these things are in the family series. You need to go there if you're thinking about marrying, or you think you found a woman, or you think you found a husband. My advice to you is to put that vision or dream on hold until you have listened to all the teachings that Dr. Sunday has done on the family series, because you might have assessed yourself that you're ready, based on, of course, the income you have or the income you don't have, or the expectations from your family people, or you've assessed yourself, or you've qualified yourself, based on your age. You think that you have advanced in age, and they have started calling your name in your village. They want to give you one title, but the reason why they can't give you that title is because you don't have a woman in your life, or vice versa. You need to go and, put yourself, find Sunday Adelaja official link and go and listen to all the teachings on family before you make that decision, because those series and those teachings that he has done there is a game changer for you. It's going to arm you with so much information, because these are some of the things that have helped us. Yes, at the time that we met him, we were already married, okay? And we had a lot of questions and a lot of dots that were not connecting. But by the time we got to hear his teaching on family, and reading some of his materials too on marriage and parenting, I tell you, we can now say that we are on the right track in this area. And of course, we're building on that. And I tell you, this part of life is not a walk in the park
at all.
If you're not ready to put in the work, just stay single. Don't even negotiate it, because there is a lot of work that needs to go in here for us to be able to raise children who become personalities. Because the goal of marriage is not just to give birth like rats. I keep saying this thing. It's not just to, keep on bringing children like cat and dog or every other thing out there. There is a lot of value that needs to be transferred to these people. And if you have not put in that value within you, you cannot transfer it to the next person. That's how come we are raising rapists today. That's how come we're raising terrorists. All these people that are doing these things, they are from homes.
Yes.
They didn't just, get up out there to start operating like that. They are from homes. They have parents. Someone brought them into the world. So these materials have really helped us to understand the magnitude of work that is required, to be a parent, that qualifies you to become a parent. Because parenting is not just that you have the features that you bring a child here and you just go ahead and start producing them. No, he has taken his time to put all those materials in his books, as you can see, how to create core values in a child. If you're a parent, I don't know which other material you should read apart from that one, because that's the material that equips you to understand what you need to do with your child. Because at the end of the day, by the time you have these children, and by the time you've given them milk, you've given them the formula, and they start growing, you will realize that you don't even know what to do with those children. A lot of parents today now, with this lockdown, the children are locked in at home with them. They are frustrated, I tell you, because they don't know. They are used to sending the children to school. They go there, they spend the whole day there. Then as they're coming back from work in the night, the children are coming back to meet them. Now these children are at home with them. They don't understand how to engage those children. In fact, the children are almost becoming a nuisance to them. But by the time you understand the work that is required, the personal development that goes into becoming a parent, you will now begin to tell yourself the truth, whether you're ready to be a parent, because truly it's not compulsory to be a parent. I tell people that it's not compulsory to mother a child or, to give birth to a child. Yes, you can marry if you want to marry, but it is actually not compulsory, especially if you had a traumatic childhood and you have not dealt with those issues as a person. You don't need to bring a child until you have fixed your own life. You want to add to this?
Yeah, just to add a little thing to that. There's a book there, How to Create Core Values in a Child. For a lot of parents, they don't even know the essence, the objective of having children. We just have kids and bring children to the world and they start living. There's a saying in Africa, in Nigeria particularly, that it's God that trains children. So just bring them in. So that's how we, bring in people. We keep, reproducing, having children who, without plans for those kids, and we keep replicating, increasing poverty in this country. So for us, what we've learned is that the success or failure of, parenting is actually how much of the right values that you transfer to your children. And many people don't know these things, that even you're shouting, you're saying, do this, don't do that. All you're trying to do is create value, core values in these children. And what we learned from Dr. Sunday is that we can actually do these things directly by identifying all the values that we want to create and start teaching our children these things. So, there are series, and in family series, Dr. Sunday dealt with a lot of these values and how he did it. He showed us how he brought his children, and he brought his kids, and they also spoke to us. We saw that these children are not just ordinary kids. They are speaking from a much, much more mature point of view on every aspect of life. And we are also replicating this in our kids. We are teaching them values. We are teaching them even things like entrepreneurship, the money, all the things we have, all these pillars we just mentioned.
All these pillars, they have to go into them.
Yeah, and what happens when we fail to transfer this value to our children? At some time, they end up killing us. In Africa, in Nigeria, we've seen, instances where children kill their parents, either physically or by, causing a lot of problems that the parents eventually died. And this is as a result of not being able to transfer the right values into children. So, this book is one book we recommend that every parent should have, how to create core values in a child. And the family is the building block of the nation. And I keep going back to national transformation, and we believe that we can actually transform Nigeria by doing all these rudimentary things, these core values, building all these pillars in Nigeria, in Nigerian youth. We can actually transform this country. If we get the children right, then the future of the country we will get the future of Nigeria right.
Yeah.
But when we miss out on this, that's how we keep prolonging the process. And it's not something that prayers will do. We won't achieve it by just praying or just wishing it away. We have to do the work.
That's right.
So Dr. Sunday was the person who taught us all this. There are just so many things I wanted to say. If we had all the time, there are just lots of them. But these are a few of the things that Dr. Sunday taught us, and we urge everybody listening here to go to Sunday Adelaja Official on YouTube.
Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Dr. Sunday. It shows that you guys have been with us for a very long time, because you're still stuck on the old name, but the new name is Dr. Sunday Adelaja.
Thank you for that correction. Funny. Dr. Sunday Adelaja Official. Go there and you see a materials to listen to watch that can last you for a whole year.
Whole year?
Yes.
More than a year.
Well,
it's going to take you more than a year to listen to all those messages.
Over 8,000 of them. That's definitely going to be
Ah,
years.
it takes a lifetime.
Wow.
It takes you
Yes.
almost your
Course.
lifetime.
So,
Yeah, because for some of them you have to go over and over.
And one thing is for sure, when you go there, your life will not remain the same. Never.
Awesome.
Your life will not remain the same.
Awesome. Wow, 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 wow. Well, this definitely would not be the last of from you. I'm sure that we have to have maybe a part 2 or part 3 or something, or maybe have you in a special show, come back, to continue, to share more, and to even maybe give some light and some illumination, some understanding to people. Just because it's one thing for people to hear from Dr. Sunday, because most people, when they hear from Dr. Sunday, they feel like it's Dr. Sunday, it's phenomenal, it's exceptional, all of that. But it's beautiful to hear from people who are his disciples and his mentees, who have taken their time to work hard on themselves, to imbibe these things that Dr. Sunday teach, to practice it and to see results, and then to come and to share with other people that, hey, I was not here. I'm coming from a very far place, but thanks to Dr. Sunday, I learned these things, and this is how it has impacted my life, and I can also, transfer the same impact to you. So it's amazing to hear your testimonies, and I'm sure that our viewers watching us from all over the world, they've been blessed by your testimony. They've been blessed by the foundation and the pillars that you have shared with us, and the books you've mentioned, and everything that, I just feel like your family should be that model family, even with the investments that you have given to your children, passing down all of these core values and principles. Well, guess what? We're waiting for your disciples and for the sons and the daughters from Nigeria that you're going to raise, to actually bring transformation to that nation. So we're very proud of you. Thank you so much for coming on to today's show. Really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Awesome. But I'm going to allow you to give your final words if you do have some final words to our viewers, or maybe you have summary or something you want to say to Dr. Sunday before we call it a day.
Okay, for me, my final words to everyone watching us today. I've been here for about 4 years now, and in the course of our journey with the DSA's messages and teachings, we have also seen some people who didn't quite take their time to take in some of these teachings as he put them out there. He actually put his life out there for the world to see. This man sacrificed so much for the world. As he said, he said he's going to be living for many years even after he is gone. I don't know if there is any other man in this world. I'm still searching. If you have found, you can let me know. I haven't yet seen a second man who has done what he has done. But now what I want to say is, if you have come on this platform and within you came because you are seeking for truth, you came because you want to genuinely impact your world. You came because you believe that there is something in you. There is an answer to the world that, there is a question that the world is searching for, that you have an answer to. Please remain focused, because truly you will get all the answers and even more. But if you're here and you want to allow yourself to be distracted, you would also find distraction, because in our journey with him, some have come, some have gone, some fell by the wayside, and some also came back. I want to encourage everyone who is on this platform today, and every other person who is going to be listening to this message in whatever time and year and day that you find this teaching, that you should remain focused when you come on this platform. when you're reading Dr. Sunday's materials, put your mind to that information that brought you. Put yourself to that knowledge that you came to get, and truly you will find the truth. And truly you will find the transformation. And truly you will have more testimonies that we have even shared to give. And truly you would impact your world. But if you have come just to be the spy or to find something else to say, you will also find those things to say. But that's all I want to say to our viewers today. Yeah, thank you for watching.
Yeah, and a quick one. They say it's only a madman that keeps doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Just ask yourself questions on your set of beliefs, the things, your belief system. Ask yourself, for the years you've been doing them and the things you believe they would achieve for you, how effective has that been? And it's a time to ask you to question yourself and all the things. For us, we had lived our lives like every other person, but when we encountered Dr. Sunday Adelaja and the things he taught us, and we applied it to our lives, we saw them work. We did not stop at applying it to our lives. We also taught some people, mentor people, discipled people, and we saw their lives also transform. And we saw that these things are for real. What we are teaching here, all the things we drop here are for real. So we encourage you to go and immerse yourself in these materials, in this information, and your life will not remain the same again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Well, guys, this brings us, to the end of this journey. The life transforming testimonies. It's been amazing. I mean, it's been awesome, and I want to appreciate Mr. and Mrs. Nwigwe for joining us today and for bringing it to an amazing wrap. I think you are definitely the best guest for us to end today, because you're the only couples who came on, and you're from Nigeria and you understand our heart and our like we're sleeping and waking up every day just thinking about Nigeria. We are walking every day thinking about Nigeria, and a lot of your testimonies, you actually connected them with Nigeria, and that's so beautiful. So thank you so much for being with us. Yeah, we appreciate that. And to our viewers who have been with us right from the first day, from the 1st of May till now. Wow. Thank you for joining us every blessed day. It's been an amazing journey that I wish that we'd never come to an end, but for everything that has a beginning, it has an end. But we believe that this will not be the end to the testimonies and to the life transformation that Dr. Sunday has been offering, giving out his life, his time, through his materials and his resources to be a blessing to our world at large. So thank you for joining us, and also to all of the guests who featured in these life transforming testimonies right from the first day till date. We want to appreciate you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for being a blessing to us, to the world at large. And we are very, 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 very appreciative of that. Well, guys, my name is Anu Ojo, and I want to also appreciate Dr. Sunday. Well, we can't end without appreciating Dr. Sunday, because it's because of him we're here. This is his platform, and he's been the one, just converting his whole life to wanting to help humanity through his books, through his materials. So a very big appreciation to Dr. Sunday for raising leaders like him, and for, sacrificing his life to raising giants for the kingdom. So thank you so much, Dr. Sunday, for this opportunity. And we want to say, it's been days after your birthday, right? So we want to thank you for being there to support and to help us. So thank you so very much, Dr. Sunday. Thank you to the team also who made it available. People who are working behind the scenes, thank you. It's been a wonderful journey. And on behalf of the whole team here in Kyiv, Ukraine, we want to say a big thank you for being with us on this journey on the life transforming testimonies. And we're going to continue the usual, the daily schedule on Dr. Sunday's platform starting from tomorrow. So join us on Building a Nation, Building a New Africa, and every other thing that Dr. Sunday does, the life secrets. So it will continue starting from tomorrow. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure being with you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and bye for now. Blessings.